Hateful holidays to one and all. It's the Hate Bit Podcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the program. We got a great show for you tonight, and we hope you don't mind us being late, but, you know, fuck you. Anyway, I am the astonishing Yell Chaos. Joining me, the sexiest elf, Alpha Omega Sin.
It's Elf Omega Sin. But yes, I bet you cunts thought that we fucking left you high and dry. No, we didn't. We were banging slags. The end.
That's exactly what we're doing. And also to the other side, my man, your man, the guy to be late to his own fucking funeral, Mr. Razor Fist.
God fucking speed, folks. It's always good to be fashionably late.
So fashionable, it's black all the time.
All the time. They prefer African American.
Yeah,
I'm terribly sorry.
We live in a very politically correct society. Granted, we aren't fitting into this mold as well as we should, but you know that's why cookie cutters are around. Eventually.
Right. Next week we will show up, and Alpha will be brown, and Yell Chaos will be transitioning, and I will be gayer than a daffodildo.
Yes, and I will call Hulk Hogan a nigga, and it'll just be a wonderful thing. It'll be fabulous. Everyone will love it.
But I mean, Vince McMahon technically got to do that on Raw, and he knows. Vince McMahon, it just the fucking balls. Just
life sucks, and then you die.
Dude, oh my god, what fucking band ended up using that at the beginning of
Skinless? That was the Optimist.
Yes,
dude,
that's right. One of the few death metal references that I get.
Dude, that every time I heard that, I was just like, my god, I have a CD with Vince McMahon on it, and it's not one of the WWF albums. Like, that's fucking great. Ah, good times, good times.
Absolutely. Speaking of fucking travesties on Monday night, each and every one of you can check us out on Twitter, on the Facebook, and on Instagram. And make sure you do that. Check us out on there and all the others. If you have a social media, look for us on there. We might be on there. And if we're not, well, you're probably a fucking creep and you'll, make one of those fake accounts.
Hey, real quick. So I found that while I was out and about, and it's Pile Driver, the wrestling album 2 with Hulk Hogan. And I saw that. I thought you fuckers would enjoy this. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Absolutely fabulous. So Pile Drivers for each and every one. If you got with the hard hat, you can't help but make sort of a Gay Village People reference. You can't help it. God damn it. Anyway, so make sure to follow us on the social media.
Pile Driver, my friends. We banned the Pile Driver. I'm sorry. We banned the Pile Driver. I think I'm going to speak like Vince McMahon all night. I think this is how this episode.
You won't be able to make the program next week then.
Welcome everyone on Monday night. Hate Bit Podcast.
Dude, that was a bit too accurate. I'm kind of worried. Are you gonna start like making out with Trish Stratus in front of your fucking decrepit looking wife? I'm just
body drop.
If I were him, I wouldn't fuck around, man. Linda's part of the Trump team now, so
that's
Vince
true.
Could be fucked.
Dude, the fact that fucking happened,
I know,
because I kept making fun of the fact that this bitch had wasted millions upon millions upon millions and got jack shit. Donald Trump gets in and she just got a fucking past the easy street. I was just like, you know what? I got to admit, her chess game is complete bullshit, but she accidentally got a checkmate. I'm like, yeah, bravo. Look at that. She fell right into it.
It almost feels like Donald Trump was just reimbursing her. That's what that was.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure that's what was going on because I think the largest donator to the Trump Foundation was WWE. I think factually.
Oh, so is that where all that fucking money went?
It's true. That's all their Be a Star bullshit.
Well, I was going to say the money's going to that and also to Brock Lesnar showing up 3 times a year. So that's not so bad.
Yes, and it seems like the only time he shows up to UFC is to fail drug tests.
Not just a drug test, multiple drug tests.
I'm thinking he goes to WWE to get the drugs from probably from the New Day. There has to be drugs going on in the New Day camp.
Dude, he probably raided every single fucking cabinet in his house that Sable's Supply had, and he just got all coked up and fucked up on whatever he could possibly get, then went bear hunting with his bare hands. That's it. The life of Bork Laser. Pork and Sable doing her drugs, fighting bears, and then being boring as piss on national television. Bravo to you.
I contest the contention that Brock Lesnar is injecting steroids. Brock Lesnar, ladies and gentlemen, is a steroid. It's 2016. It's time to admit that fact. He has successfully transitioned, and we should all welcome his new life choice.
What did we learn? Is you are what you eat.
I'd like to think
So
that even if he had like pointy
fucking what?
If he had pointy fingernails, he could just go up and poke any dude at a Gold's Gym and just give them that fucking stimulant that they need a little bit. And then Fallout jokes are made everywhere. Blah, blah, blah. Duke Nukem. It's Chemical X. Sorry. Anyway.
Sugar, spice, everything nice, so on and so forth. Anyway, so make sure and check us out on the social media. That's what we were trying to get over, if you hadn't grasped that already. Also, questions, comments, concerns, correspondence of any kind, please drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. And hopefully it's something nice, not like something fucking bullshit we usually get in there, some bullshit about Sting being a draw. But that's not the issue. We'll talk about that some other time. We're going to jump right into something that Alpha Omega Sin, when on the preparatory, the part of the show that you don't get to see, and you never will because that's when it's the sexiest. Alpha Omega Sin was going on and on about a patent filed, something that was stumbled across, I guess, earlier today or earlier this week, about a VR headset for the Nintendo Switch. Alpha Omega Sin, what do you know that I don't?
Well, you know everything that I know, but I'm just going to say it for all the plebs who are currently listening. And that's virtual reality is more than likely going to be attempted by Nintendo yet again, and we can make virtual boy jokes until the cows come home. But considering that Nintendo's kind of an ideal company to go after virtual reality in terms of first party, but they filed a patent back in June. It went live on the 15th, so just 4 days ago. And basically, it's just a little Nintendo Switch screen that they have that goes inside the system. That'll go inside of a headset. You'll still look like a gibbering, retarded asshole while trying to go and play virtual reality, but it'll be Nintendo-branded virtual reality. It's just a matter of, is this going to premiere in January? Like, are they going to showcase this to the world, or is this, like, well off in the distance? And Miyamoto himself had already said, don't expect to see some shit like Super Mario Brothers on there. So if they are doing it, maybe brand new IPs for this, or for fuck's sake, just give us some of a Virtual Boy collection, because there were good games on there. I swear there were.
Sure.
It's just they were on the Virtual Boy, so it just hurt to play them.
I have no idea why those games were not released on the 3DS Virtual Console, because the 3DS can do everything that the Virtual Boy can. It also hurts your eyes.
It does.
If I could get Tellerboxer on there, that'd be great. I would enjoy that a lot, because I thought that game was really good. What the fuck was it? Was it Wario Land?
You mean
that was? Yeah, I think Wario Land was the other one.
Wario Land was on there, and the Mario Clash, which was the 3D ones, throwing shells, in a 3D space. That one is a perfect match for the 3DS, and why that didn't happen, I don't know. I held my breath, and then I turned purple and passed out.
That game, it's a super basic game, but if you put it onto the eShop for like $3, motherfuckers will scoop it up based off of principle alone, let alone for the price.
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be fugly because it's red and black? Yeah, but it's also going to kind of shine light on a system that they don't want to pay attention to, and they don't want to remember.
Yeah, fuck it. You can just pretend you're a Terminator.
Yeah, dude, I fucking wish that would have been some awesome shit, like a first-person little Terminator adventure, going around scanning shit. They did it in Metroid Prime. Fuck it, I want to go with the T-800. I always forget the fucking name for it, but yeah, just let me do that Schwarzenegger. Things will be good. But do you think Nintendo's going to follow through, or is this just a patent that they have locked down, they aren't going to do shit with and just sit on?
I think it's something that they tried to nail down in the console space, because they saw what's going on with the Samsung phones and that so-called virtual reality. I think that they just want to have that part of the toy market sewn up in case it does become a thing.
Yeah.
Well, because if you make a profit, you did all right. And that's all that I think they would really hope to get out of a peripheral like that.
I'd like to think that after I don't know the sales figures of the PlayStation VR whatsoever, and I don't know them about the HTC Vive, but just considering that there is a decent wealth of developers out there who are trying to make shit for this, and it's still it's a niche market. That's all there is to it. There isn't a whole lot for it, but it is growing. Whether or not it's going to become the next big thing like they want to think that it was, like with several other things that have happened, remains to be seen. But I don't know, I would kind of like to see Nintendo do that, because you look at the Switch controller and the two little side controllers. If you got the stupid fucking headset, you jam the screen inside of that, then you got the two little sub controllers. You've got a completely wireless system. I mean, the HTC Vive can't claim that, but it's a million fucking times more powerful. And the PlayStation VR can't claim that, but it's also a lot more fucking expensive than just buying a headset that you're going to strap to your fucking face. You're still going to look like a retard regardless, but I don't know. I would kind of like to see it just because it's Nintendo. Truthfully, that's really why.
Well, that's fair enough reasoning, and also it's not like you're going to be, wearing this thing while you're fucking jogging. At least I would, because that's, you know. Now that I'm thinking about this, with this shit that you put your phone in there, it's only a matter of time before Pokemon Go goes into that space, and then we're gonna have a whole bunch of people getting hit.
Oh, dude.
Good. I mean, that'll help with our overpopulation problem, but still, Jesus.
Well, not only that, but
and happy holidays to every one of you.
Isn't Pokemon Go already being used by like criminals to fucking jump people at the hotspots and shit? Like, you package that with a VR headset, it is pretty much a ready-made robbery kit.
Dude, there was whenever it was like, I'm talking like the first couple weeks it was out, I was going downtown. So I'm in downtown Pittsburgh at night with friends. Basically, the only people that are out, because nothing's open. Not even the bars are open. So nothing is open. The only people that are walking around are people that want to rob you. I'm expecting like Mad Max scenarios, except for I'm all like, I'm trying to get a haunter. But luckily, it was a big group of them. You strap fucking headsets to everybody while they're running around and shit. You were going to get your ass beat the fuck down based off of principle alone, let alone for whatever you have inside of your pockets. I kind of want to see that happen, but I watched a Twitch live stream of a dude getting robbed while playing Pokemon Go. I felt really bad. He had to get his fucking jaw wired shut. I was like, God damn. Dude just came up and it was this wraparound punch and just, his jaw just went in a different direction and was like, I'm on strike. It was fucked. But yeah, if there's this kind of shit, I foresee some bad things. Plus people getting hit by cars, walking off cliffs, both of which happen with Pokemon Go, by the way. Just imagine if it's on your face.
I'm also predicting a whole new swing in cosplay. Could you imagine dudes dressed up as thugs with a sign that says, I'm a Pokemon?
Well, fuck, I told you guys about fucking the Poke Thug, right?
The what?
The Poke Thug.
No, Uncle Razor, tell us about the Poke Thug.
Yeah, tell us about this thug, this thuggish ruggish.
So back in the day, right, I'm working at the comic shop. And we, of course, like any comic shop under the yellow sun, you have to have fucking card tournaments. So we had the Yu-Gi-Oh! And we had the Magic the Gathering. And yes, we had the Pokemon. And all the kids from all around you'd be surprised, even though Pokemon, had fallen from popularity by then, at least from its peak, at 2000, 2001-ish, whenever the hell that was. There were still a lot of kids who would turn up to fucking play Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, blah, blah, blah. And it was, it was great seeing little kids getting involved in social activities, fucking doing whatever, and we'd have a room full of fucking kids playing this game. And then there'd be this random, 20-something-year-old Mexican dude who was, full-on choloed out. He had, the skull cap and fucking everything, man. I was expecting him one day to show up with a teardrop tattoo. And this motherfucker would, he'd fucking crip walk all the way to the back to go play Pokemans with fucking 5-year-old children. And we took to calling him the Poke Thug, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, was there ever a point that he sat down and he put his fucking piece on the table and he sat across from them like this after a match and was just like, hey. And he just keeps head nodding towards the gun. I want to see some shit like that. Kids getting shaken down for their Blastoise cards. Oh, you poor kid. What do you take from you? He took my Charizard. The Bolt promo one too. Oh, poor you.
I think you're both being very unfair. After Monday Nitro, Conan had to do something with his time.
You know what? I'm
Viva la Blastoise!
Well, dude, after the NWO Wolfpack, I mean, that seems like a step up. So personally, I think that he was doing better for himself by doing that.
Right?
But it doesn't shock me because at the Magic the Gathering tournaments, they would have Yu-Gi-Oh ones going on almost simultaneously because the one comic book shop was so big. It had a first and second floor, and on the second floor, like where they were hidden away, they had all the Yu-Gi-Oh people. Well, one of them was this big, brawny, big, bad-looking motherfucker. It looked like he just crushed fucking heads. I mean, he looked like he came straight out of, like, the Road Warriors or Demolition, whatever the fuck. And he's just going in there with, like, his little tin of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And, like, everybody else I'm seeing, like, he even... Because after the matches, you had to come downstairs and you had to report, like, who won and who lost and shit to, like, the people that work there. And this dude comes down and everybody else, like, comes up to hear on him. They're like, I won! Oh, I won! I won! I won! Like,
I was gonna say, like, wait a minute, the first three guys are all, like, the cashier from Krusty Burger and The Simpsons?
Dude, just seeing it, because I'm sitting there, like, I'm just going through the boxes, just getting Magic cards, because that's what all the cool kids do, clearly. Yeah. They get their pile of Batman comics, and then they get Magic the Gathering cards, and then bitch and complain about prices. But just seeing the dude, I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Fucking Meat Mountain comes to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Fantastic stuff, but I think I don't know, I think it's awesome when there's some kind of diversity to it. It's still funny. Like, you never make fun of them for it because they'll probably shoot you.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Lots of death.
Next week it'll be Lord Humongous from fucking Mad Max.
Now I want to see one of, like, their fucking vehicles all decked out.
Yes!
Just, like, with the cards and, like, heads of the characters on fucking spikes on the grill.
Dude,
and shit. That'd be fucking great.
with it. Maybe you'll bring Master Blaster.
Dude,
I'm saying.
Not... By the way, everybody played Master Blaster Returns on PlayStation 1. Extremely overlooked. That's all. Sorry, it fucking reminded me. It's just, that game's really good, dude. It's so fucking good. The one on Genesis is fucking terrible, though. Oh, God, don't play that.
You know what? No one gives this program enough credit for having spontaneous reviews.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yours was actually in depth, though. Where everybody got to understand that Yokai was totally worth getting. And I was babbling on about this while holiday shopping with my best friend. And I was like, man, I want to get Yokai Watch. That's going to be the shit. Yo, Chaos was telling me about. And it's like fucking Pokemon with, like, just ghost and shit. And he was like, yeah, I have that for my son. I was like, well, I'm going to get it too, so fuck you. that was our actual conversation, literally. As Best Buy employees, like, skirted away from us. It was whatever. But yes, so virtual reality, Nintendo, the Switch, VR. I know that Mr. Fist can't wait to play everything in virtual reality. I heard that he's basically sold off a good majority of his stuff just to get invested fully in virtual reality.
Fuck, I'm selling blood. Are you kidding?
Oh no, dude, you don't need plasma. Fuck plasma. You can just go and get rid of that shit and just VR.
People wonder what the deal is with the cop glasses. He's practicing for VR goggles.
That's true. I can't see shit. These are actually double-sided mirrors.
I sympathize. I wouldn't want to have to look at them either. So don't feel bad. But anyway,
yes.
So you're not ready for this, Mr. Fist?
I don't give a flying fuck. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I will say this. I have to laugh my balls off because I did a fucking rant about MechWarrior 5 the other day. And because, you know, it looked kind of cool, but there's still some issues and blah, 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 blah. And I was arguing that the game, because it's a simulator, should be geared toward fucking joystick. you shouldn't have to own a joystick, but it should be calibrated so that if you use one, it should control really well, right? Because a fucking sim. And every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry coming out of the woodwork. What are you talking about? They cost too much. They cost too much. Meanwhile, fucking VR headsets are the future, ladies and gentlemen. And they cost how fucking much? Like, I could get a joystick for $12 down at fucking Bookman's. But a VR fucking headset.
The idea that PC gamers are complaining about anything being expensive?
No goddamn shit.
I'm like, dude, proper rigs that are built aren't fucking cheap when you want the most high-end shit. Like, I mean, fuck. I dropped two.
But I'm gonna show you guys something really crazy now. I want you guys to keep this a secret. Are you ready for this? This is a hookup for my joystick. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. You see that? There's a USB. There's one of those on the front of your PlayStation.
Whoa, hold on.
Have them on the front of your place. It's almost like if Sony and Microsoft weren't being proprietary cunts, you could just plug in any old fucking joystick and it would work on your goddamn console or something. But, you know.
Now, can't you use the Ace Combat 6 setup on PC?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it works with just like any fucking 360 controller or whatever. It works if you plug it into your console.
The very first time I even got to try anything like that was way back on the PlayStation 1. It was like massive fucking dual stick controller. But that was the first time, and as a matter of fact, that was the first time Sony had anything that was analog. So it actually predated the dual analog stick, not the DualShock, the dual analog stick. And they basically just took that and then shoved it inside of a fucking controller. But again, to try that out, and there was also the Namco Negcon controller, which is real fucking weird, but the controller, it's split in two. And you go like this. But it, dude, for flight sims, it controlled so good. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. But anybody not wanting more options for their games and then bitching at you about it is a fucking idiot. I want less options. How dare you demand more?
Yeah. If you want less options, you should play your games on the Mac.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what you have to do. The only way that you have a lot of options on the Mac is if you have a high-end Mac and then you emulate Windows and then play your games through that way.
And just hope it doesn't fucking explode while you do that.
Oh no, it's going to. It's probably going to catch on fire. But I
just hope you can minimize collateral damage. That's the key.
I still can't. You know what? I'm not even shocked that people were bitching at you about it. Motherfuckers will bitch about anything. Give me less. How dare you? I don't know what I'm defending. This shit fucking kills me. God, what a bunch of fucking ignorant simps.
No shit. And not only that, but like, hey guys, check out this joystick. It's nice. It's well calibrated. It's worked for all the games I've used it for. I got this
from 1996.
I got this motherfucker for $15, and it's got a USB fucking hookup. So if Sony and Microsoft would just drop the goddamn strictures on third-party controllers and shit, or loosen them just a smidge, you could use that to play a fucking sim, and it wouldn't kill the marketability or whatever. That was essentially what they were arguing.
You can hook up things to your systems. Yeah. It's actually a matter of the developers allowing it, because, like, for example, keyboards and mice, you're able to go and use those on current gen systems. But it's always just up to the developer to implement that as an option, so you can go in and just like configure the
exactly, and that makes it even easier. Because if MechWarrior 5 is probably going to be released on consoles because it's such a big game, right? Probably will be on consoles, which I'm fine with. That's totally cool. But here's the thing. It's a classic PC series. This is going to be the first numbered entry that's not going to be on PC. Fuck, it's going to be the first major entry, I think, apart from Mech Assault, that will be on consoles. Actually, no, that's not true. I think...
I was going to say...
first MechWarrior, and I think MechWarrior 2.
I was gonna say I remembered. I could have swore I remembered Mech Warrior 2 at least.
Yeah, I
either
think that
one
was
or
on
two.
like PlayStation and stuff. I think some of those early CD consoles got them, and I think Mech Warrior as well. But either way, this is going to be the first one basically since it's been a sim on PC that's being released on home consoles. So why the fuck not? That if the developer already developed it for fucking PC, which clearly is going to be the lead platform because that's Piranha's main fucking home base, then why the fuck not enable joystick support? Just allow people to map their controls however the fuck they want and whatever, or even keyboard and mouse. Support those things. I don't understand why more games don't allow that, especially when shooters are so famous for people want the mouse and the keyboard, right? For first-person shooters.
Oh, dude, people are paying out the ass for a proper mechanical keyboard, which I want to point out something. Mini rant. So we are paying like sometimes $70 to like $140 for a mechanical keyboard when all keyboards used to be mechanical. So what the fuck happened? Like, if all of them were that way and they didn't cost a fucking arm and a leg, your firstborn, and whatever fucking internal organs that you don't currently need right now in the next 5 fucking minutes, and then all of a sudden they cost this much, and don't sit there and fucking try to sell me on, oh, well, what about all the hotkey button and shortcuts that they have? Shut the fuck up, because most of them are literally just mechanical keyboards. That's fucking it. Anyway, I just don't understand that. That shit's always bothered me. They're nice, but still, cost too much. Way too much. I have a shitty fucking Dell keyboard that I got from a fucking thrift store. That's what I'm using right now with a $2,000 PC. Go me. But yes, options. Please give us more options. That's
exactly.
Hooray! Absolutely fantastic.
Everybody, you can swim in all the fucks that Yell Chaos that cares about that, and basically.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I gave like 1/3 of a fuck, and I think you were lucky to get that.
I was gonna say that's a donation. I appreciate that.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I was gonna open up the program because you said it's a good idea to open up the program to some questions because we've been neglecting the audience a little bit in recent weeks, and we apologize for that. But unfortunately, the first questions we get are, do you guys eat food and can we see penises?
I mean, we can technically do both because we are masters of multitasking.
Yes, I just the first things that come up are food and well, Razor Fist, he talks about eating food all the time. As a matter of fact, he's conjuring up food as we speak.
It's true.
No, he actually is. I wish
you
that
have
we
no
were
idea
being
what
somewhat
goes on
sarcastic.
underneath this desk, ladies and gentlemen.
So you're only seeing from there up. Everything below that, it's a magical Willy Wonka type world.
Yeah,
Just
it's
a factory
cooking mama underneath all this. You have no idea,
dude. It's
fucking.
Now I want to have like a little grill set up, like during the next stream. This
reminds me, by the way, it reminds me of I don't know why I thought of this. This is so stupid. I was thinking of there's an episode of Cops where they bust in on this guy who's running like a cocaine ring. And he's got
wait. You mean to tell me there's an episode of Cops where they catch somebody doing something?
I know. It's crazy. It was one of the earlier ones.
Oh, must have been. Please go on.
They still did shit, apart from beat on black people. So there's bags upon bags upon bags of fucking cocaine all over tables, just everywhere. It's like mountains of cocaine. And this guy, they break in. He doesn't answer the door. They break in, and they find him in a closet. And he's just sitting. There's a big old fat guy. He's in his fucking underwear. Of course, they're blurring everything out to make it seem even edgier. And he's got a ton of just white all over his face. Like he's just been burying his face in it like Glenn Beck in a bowl of Cheetos. White all over his face. And the cops are like, hey, they like feel bad for him because this guy's just like fucking stone cold busted. It's like, hey buddy, what were you doing? What's that on your face, bud? What's going on? And he's like, it's flour. I'll make it bread. It's quote of the century, ladies and gentlemen.
That must have been some shiny flour.
No shit.
So them bright ass lights, you know.
Dude, like for whatever reason, I don't know why. The entire time that you were, this is what went through my head. Like I had visuals already like predetermined. So when you were describing it, I was expecting a dude who was surrounded by drugs, and he was sitting in the middle of his living room with a fondue set. And nothing else. Motherfucker's just got and the shit's lit, and he's just hanging out, and he's just like. Just like straight hands off and shit. Like, but the idea, like, get you a motherfucker who Tony Montana'd his way into a closet, and he's just sitting there like fucking white faced and shit, like Papa Shango. It's just like, hello. Dude, I fucking love that, man. That's
I wish he really was Papa Shango. He could conjure a fucking voodoo spirit and black shit would fall from the cops' fucking heads and shit. Ultimate Warrior style.
And then the cops would shake the ropes. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
I have to know. I forget if I fucking talked to you guys about it, but have you watched was it You Are Under Arrest on Netflix?
No.
Okay. Just bear with this real quick. Okay, it's cops, but in Canada.
Oh, God.
Dude, it's so much better than Cops.
Did you have any idea how fast that caribou was going, sir?
Dude, I wanted them to come out like the Mountie and shit with the shock stick and shit that just made noise. But dude, every episode, all it is people who are belligerent and drunk. And dude, the amount of times, oh sorry. I was just like, I was in fucking heaven watching this. And like all of it, it's all ridiculous. There was one dude, he was fucking all cracked out, running around naked in the streets and shit. And I'm just like, this is what the fuck the shows need more often. And he's just sitting there like, he's jumping on the cars and he's freaked out. He's like doing these stances like he's trying to be Peter Parker. And I'm like, this guy needs to calm the fuck down. And there's another one, like they showed this woman who fucking killed herself and the bitch is hung. That's it. Like dead body dangling from the fucking ceiling. You never see that shit on Cops.
No.
Once in a while.
Dude, all the episodes I've ever seen, like the most I've ever gotten to see is like somebody who got like hurt. But I've seen tons of blood on there, like fucked up violence and just shit that's just funny. Like just hilarious.
I saw one. It was in a Walmart parking lot. You can do your own math on that. And apparently the cops have been called about a disturbing figure out in this brightly fucking lit parking lot, this Walmart parking lot, and there's a guy, and he's standing there. And the police come out, and he approaches, sir, and he's not moving, not responding. And another cop shows up, and they say, sir, they're trying to get his attention, but he continues to stand there as like, and he's against. Have you ever been in a Walmart parking lot? They have these trees that are like about as thick as a stack of dimes, just you know, in between the light poles, and he's just standing there, seems to be peering through. A minute goes by, and the police have guns drawn, and they're gonna shoot this guy who has said nothing, done nothing, is just standing there. And as they approach closer and closer, I'm like, they're gonna fucking shoot this guy, you know, without doing anything. And then they realize this guy has hung himself with a coat hanger and has probably been hanging here for a couple of days. This is not a suspicious individual. This is a suicide in a fucking Walmart parking lot, and they need a whole different group of people and a different set of paperwork. And then they went to commercial.
That's fucked. Dude, roll the Hot Wheels commercial.
Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening.
or even better, maybe a modern 2016 remake of Mommy Dearest.
Is that really
anytime that we can bring up clothes hangers without talking about trying to get rid of like some kind of a kid during prom night, that, you know what, I'm all for that. That's good. We got all
no shit. It's a Walmart parking lot and a coat hanger was involved. You're lucky he wasn't a fucking zygote. Dude,
I want to know how the fuck nobody just like why did they even pull guns? Why am I asking why they pulled guns? Fuck it, they got them. Why did you pull guns? Because I had it? Well, that's not right, but I have the gun. I mean, what do you want me to do? Not use it? Not use my
Well, that,
gun.
yeah, that was their
fucking-
response. They were in no danger, I assure you.
Yeah, what is this?
Well,
Great Britain?
unless like it's sprawled to life, like in fucking Resident Evil or some shit started like coming after him. Like you don't have to worry. Like he's bound by the might of that clothes hanger over there, so everything's good.
My thing is though, is like that's a pretty crummy life. If the only place you can hang yourself is at Walmart in the parking lot. Like if you're gonna hang yourself at Walmart, do it in like like housewares or something, or.
And look, if you're gonna hang
No,
yourself,
do it where they sell the tires, because no one would find you for a week.
You have to go onto one of those amusement park rides that's like the Tower of Terror, where it goes up real high, sits there, and then drops you. Well, once you get to the top, somehow get out and then hang yourself. So then when you plummet down, like your body will be flying in the air and then smash right down on top. Oh man, it'll be such a gory mess. It'll fucking traumatize everybody. Oh, it'll be great stuff.
No, but that's one of those horrible things where the people don't actually die. Like you live.
And that motherfucker's gonna make a noise of shit, and then he's just gonna whiplash right off the ground. Like those little sticky hand things, the little rubber ones you can get out of a vending machine. Yeah, his body's gonna be like that when you're going like this. I'm like, whip it good.
This is something people who consider suicide rarely take into account. The prospect of, man, my life can't get any worse. Hey, you know what could be even worse than your life right now? If your really elaborate suicide attempt fucks up and you have to be renamed fucking Slappy. And you're sitting in the corner eating paste in your own shit.
Dude,
that could be considerably worse.
I forget, what was the... Oh, God, I want to say his name was Bud something, but the dude that... he shot himself publicly. He was like some big political figure, and he just shot himself like live on television.
Yeah.
And fuck, I forget, but it is a big thing that was like going around on the internet. I remember watching it, and I made so many fucking memes of it before we even were calling them memes. I was like, gore threads. Of course, I can add funny text to these. So it's everything's in bad taste. Why the fuck not?
Because it's the holidays. That's why.
Oh yeah, our Bud Dwyer. Thank you. See, the actual people in the chat fucking help me out with that. But dude, that shit, man, he shot himself, and his fucking nostrils just turned into a faucet. It was just blood pouring out. I was like, fuck yeah, look at that. Oh, it was good stuff. And then there was this other dude who shot himself because he lost all of his money on the stock exchange. So he shot himself, and this was like overseas somewhere, and he shot himself, but the caliber of gun that he had was weak as fuck. Dude would have been better off with a fucking Nerf gun. He shot himself and lived, and I'm like, what an idiot. You went broke, shot yourself, looked like an asshole, failed, and now you can't afford the fucking hospital bill.
Well, in all fairness, he couldn't afford the proper caliber either.
No, he couldn't. I'm like, what a fucking dumbass. It was just like, he was like, he put.
Well,
put
what
the
did
gun
you
in
want
his
him
mouth.
to do? Did you want him to start panhandling and save up for a 45?
I mean, dude, if you got enough money that, like, basically going on the stock exchange and like, all this shit is going to be able to end you, you have enough to be able to fucking get a gun. That's all there is to it. Like,
well,
if you have
no. Guns are, in this country, guns are plentiful. If you want a gun, you can get a gun. It's not hard.
Okay. Go to any fucking pawn shop. You can trade in some really stupid shit.
You could trade. No shit. You could trade in. At one point, you could trade in Amiibo for a gun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right now, you could trade an NES Classic for 2 guns. Imagine how many cigarettes you could get in prison for an NES Classic right now.
Well, dude, if you have an NES Classic and you're in prison, that's basically Trailer Park Boys. Those motherfuckers lived it up in every single episode that had them in prison. I was like, God, man, fucking Canadian prisons, this shit. Look at that. Not bad.
Not nearly as hot shit as fucking Norwegian prisons. Where
No
you can fucking,
shit.
Where you can fucking stage a goddamn a military coup on your free time from jail. So don't tell me that you know what liberalism is.
Yeah, in between fucking pedicures.
Indeed.
Oh, wait, hold up. Someone in the chat said, who the fuck pawns shoes? real quick, I don't know if you know, but man, motherfuckers are all about buying Jordans and fucking Nike, old Nike shoes and shit. Those things go for a lot of money. And I don't understand why. I just buy shitty fucking black steel-toed combat boots and then like skate shoes. That's
a weird thing. Is like, you know, since video games have virtually dried up at most thrift stores these days, or whenever they get video games, they think they're worth $100,000. On your way out of the store, you'll see that they're selling shoes, dirty ass, stinky ass shoes, starting at $20. Like I can go get them for $9 at Ross, brand new.
Yeah, it's like when the dude tries to sell you something on the street and you say no, and so he's like, "Would you like some gum? I'll sell you that. Would you like some of this? I'll sell you that, please." Jesus Christ!
You interested in a battery?
Yeah.
Look, there's only been 3 times I've had people around here try to sell me anything. One was a dude with he looked like Santa Claus, by the way, with the way that this was going. He big ass fucking beard, skinny as a fucking rail though, but he had this gigantic clear trash bag filled with cartons of cigarettes, shitloads of Newports, Camel, and Marlboros. I mean, fucking tons of them. Like, I wonder who he robbed. But that didn't matter because he was selling these at the time for like $10 and $15, which nowadays, I think a carton of Newports, like, they're like up here, they're like $7.50, $8 a pack, which is fucking ridiculous. So back then, that was like a hell of a deal. Translate that now, insane. I've had people sell me stolen watches. And I can't even count the amount of times I've had people come up and try to sell me weed or ask me where to get weed. I don't even do drugs, but I mean, I was just like, I know a guy, but I can't tell you that guy's name. Sorry. That's pretty much it. But damn. Now I want people to sell me shoes. I need that.
Also now, you know, people, you know, when you go out to these conventions, people are going to, you know, ask you where the weed is too.
Dude, that already happens. That's been
happening. But now it's more so.
Oh my God! I
have a theory, Alpha. Maybe you'll back me up on this. Whenever you enter a party, if you have facial hair, you are officially the weed guy. You must have brought weed in some capacity. I don't know what it is about facial hair and weed.
I think Shaggy started that whole thing.
You know what? I think you're onto something.
Don't fucking anybody who ever saw Scooby-Doo, Shaggy was fucking tripping balls the whole goddamn show.
Oh no, yeah. Look, Scooby never actually talked. You just got to see what Shaggy interpreted, and that's how the show translated all is Shaggy's high as fuck. He just thought Scooby was talking. And then everybody else was just trying to take care of Shaggy so he didn't hurt himself.
Really? I always assumed it was like a Snuffleupagus situation.
Oh my God, that would make him so much better.
That would make that entire show so much better, wouldn't it?
God, what was that one?
Well, yeah, because you would think if the Snuffleupagus wasn't high on heroin, he would be stampeding the fuck all over Sesame Street. Fuck you, Maria. Fuck you, Grover.
There was no way that he was ever going to be able to take on Big Bird. I always swore up and down Big Bird is the one that fucking done off a couple of the live action actors that they had there. Like, that was Big Bird's doing. That motherfucker ran shit behind the scenes.
Big Bird, did you think he ate them?
Thing. Okay, look, you want to know why the count only counted up so far? Because fucking Big Bird told him where he got to start and end. That was his shit. He fucking ran. The fucking letter of the day, Big Bird chose that. You know why? Because he'd fucking kill you.
That's why you know why the young girls, you know, some of the young girls, they leave the show, they go be, you know, whores for the count.
Oh no, absolutely. 1, 2, 3 Sesame Street. That's it. There's dark shit behind there, but you at least get to hear the truth here. We are purveyors of the truth.
Purveyors of the truth, and here to shape the coming generations.
Oh, by the way, that one show that was like Scooby-Doo that was fucking stupid, Speed Buggy. That's what I was thinking of. It's dumb. Anyway, that was all. It was just wannabe Scooby-Doo.
All right, then. Fair enough. We got a question, actually. Dig that. You know, a question that didn't refer to, you know, Razor Fist eating asshole or something like that. There was none of that. But they wanted to know our thoughts on Cuphead being delayed into the new year. Have we talked about Cuphead on this program?
We did a little bit when it was initially announced, I remember.
Yeah, well, apparently
not-
delayed yet again. And I heard something about that, and it was so interesting. I remember the people at E3 that were representing the studio. I forget the name of the studio. They said, "Oh yeah, we're not really video game people. We just quit our jobs and we do this." Like, yeah, that's pretty fucking obvious. It's taken like 9 goddamn years for this game to come out, and it's the one cool game that I've looked forward to. That's the lesson. Never look forward to fucking games because then they never come out.
I mean, I'm one of those people. I don't care how many times a game is delayed because I have a backlog that is infinite.
Oh, absolutely.
So I like when people bitch about it, I'm like, do you really not have anything you can play? Because I find that hard to believe between everything that came out in the past and then the fact that the gaming world shits out like 20 plus titles per month as new releases. I mean, there's plenty to play, and I'd rather them go and delay a game into oblivion until it's perfect than to rush out a shitty game that needs to be fixed until the end of time. And fuck all that. But Cuphead, every person I know that's played it hands-on, because they actually got to go and meet with Microsoft and stuff, and Microsoft was showcasing Cuphead. Everybody had said, fun as fuck, visually one of the coolest looking games that they ever played. It is brutal as shit. We're talking NES classic era hard. And that made me interested in it. Like most people are like, yeah, the hardest game is Dark Souls. I'm like, you stupid fucking asshole. You know nothing at all, and it hurts. Like, there's been play Contra Hardcore on Genesis, and then tell me how fucking hard Dark Souls is all of a sudden magically.
Yeah, Double
play
Dragon
the Ninja Gaiden trilogy.
motherfucker.
Play fucking Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins. Play any of that shit and be like, hey, it's the hardest game ever. Fuck you, idiot. But yeah, Cuphead. Yay.
It just seems like this is not really a priority for Microsoft, even though they keep claiming that it is, and they've showed it off at, what, 3 E3s now, I want to say?
No, I think it's 2, but still.
2? But, I mean, with just, all the press they put behind it and to be delayed once again, it's like, it just seems like these people are not getting the money they need. So
I think that they have the money they need, but I've also seen publishers go and strategically delay games to ensure that they didn't have it out in a time that competition was a bit too heavy. Yeah. And movie companies do the same exact thing. They've delayed movies numerous different times and decided, hey, with that extra time, we can go and like refine some shit or add in some stuff and put out whenever the competition won't be as fierce. And that makes sense.
What I worry about is, it does look a little bit niche. It's got the funky art style. It's got the whatever, if you take too long and you spend too much on this game, then after it drops, if it doesn't sell a gajillion copies, which it probably won't, because it's kind of niche, and especially if what you're saying about the difficulty is accurate, that'll make it even more niche. Mm-hmm. Then we'll be talking about what a fucking disappointment it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a game that is a darling of people who are paid to talk about video games.
Well, there's something to also keep in mind is nowadays there's people who, because the advent of the internet has helped gaming in a lot of ways, because now things are always connected, always online, and people are just very insatiable with content. They need that stuff. A game like this would keep people wanting to come back to try to do speed runs or no death runs and shit if it's that challenging. The Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne, that entire franchise is a fine example of people really into it just because it's overly challenging. And as for like the niche novelty of it, while I do agree, because the art style could put a lot of people off from taking it serious, because if it's not super serious and looks hyper realistic, it can't be a real game. Yeah. Well, I look at something kind of like Shovel Knight, which came about at a time where everybody and their fucking mother is trying to make an indie developed game that looks like an 8-bit game, because it's a lot cheaper to go and make them that way and a lot easier by comparison to having like, state of the art shit in a studio consisting of like 50 to 100 people. Obviously can't go and do that. But I think that proved that this shit can actually succeed, assuming that it's not only a good game, but it got out there and everybody's hearing about it. And Cuphead, I mean, I think it's done a good job of getting advertising. because most games like that don't. They get 0, and it's actually getting something.
Well, it's because they're lucky enough that Microsoft just doesn't have that much first-party stuff going on, and neither does Sony either. Both companies are kind of weak on the first-party.
Well, not only that is, don't forget all the fanfare that was put behind when they got a hold of Rare, and the last few Rare offerings have been. I'm gonna try and say this so I don't sound like a dick.
Distilled essence of dog shit.
Well, I was going to say lacking, but sure, why not? Actually, that's a better one. But and it seems like it's almost as though that acquisition was supposed to electrify the people on its merit alone. And outside of that, it seems like all they really plan to do is sell more and more hardware. Anyway, but you're right. It is quiet on that front, which is a shame.
Yeah.
So long as Microsoft isn't trying to impede on the development end of it and kind of dictate what they're going to do and not do with it, I think things will be fine.
But see, we don't know that, but that's maybe not even for us to decide. Only time will tell. But it's a great game, and whether it sells well or not is none of my fucking business. I think it's one of those games. Now, see, if we were in the modern era now, because we have no idea 10, 12 years from now, if the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 games will even be supported and playable 10 or 12 years from now. We don't know yet. We'll find out, whereas, and this Cuphead does strike me as one of those games that might not sell huge, its first time out, but people will discover it later on.
Yeah,
but
kind of a Grim Fandango situation.
What's that?
Kind of a Grim Fandango situation.
In a manner of speaking.
You know what? I'm actually going to go more of a middle ground with it, and I think the game will be a slow burn. I think that it actually has the ability to generate fans for a long time, not just like a bunch here, drop the fuck off, and then eventually get rediscovered through whatever portal that it just popped the fuck out of.
It's interesting because there is a direct analog in a way, even though the gameplay is very different. Epic Mickey, right? Because it's kind of similar idea, similar style, what have you. That was what Warren Spector wanted to do, was he wanted to take Mickey Mouse and put him back in the classic sort of era and the sort of darker version of Mickey Mouse, if you will. And those games, the first one sold pretty well, second one not so much.
Yeah,
but that's with Mickey Mouse. That's with a recognizable name, a brand, an icon. I don't know how that'll do without that. It's a weird kind of question mark, this game, but it does look badass.
With Epic Mickey, despite the fact that it's got a high profile license, one of the things to take into account, it also had shit marketing.
Yeah,
and despite the fact that it's Disney. Disney around the time of Epic Mickey was, at least a year into just being on their way out.
Yeah, they were pretty much
with gaming. Like they didn't have much interest in it, and they were even getting outside studios to develop for them by utilizing their licenses. And even then, I feel
they had been doing that since late in the PlayStation cycle.
Yeah, right now I just I don't know. I do think that it can do well, but if it's exclusive to one platform, being Microsoft, that's the only thing I can see hurting it, because while exclusives are very good for first party and they drive sales, a game like Cuphead isn't going to be what motivates somebody to purchase a system.
No, of course not.
Well, here's the thing with Microsoft, it's always going to be Xbox One and PC. And this is the kind of game that I could see selling really well on like Steam.
Yeah, on
absolutely, or iOS, or one of those things that's not going to be locked down to a particular console. I don't want to keep bringing up Coco Beware, but Coco Beware.
We need to buy you a parrot, motherfucker.
I'll get a parrot. You what? No, shit all over my house. Fuck that noise. Stop trying to distract me. Anyway. Cuphead is going to be a game that's not going to sell a bunch of systems, but will make the Xbox One look really good. Look, this great game is on here, but I don't think it'll translate to sales. And hopefully it's one of those games that, hopefully they're smart enough to hang on to the rights. That way, it's not locked down to the Xbox forever.
If if they're truly smart, and this is one of the things that I've always said that I felt Nintendo had failed at, and actually Sony has failed at, Microsoft has even fucking failed at, now that I'm putting more thought into it, is the first party companies never just go around to the talented smaller studios and just buy them. Just outright buy them so that you have them. Like I actually think it was the last podcast that we had brought up Treasure, and nobody's done anything with that company. And they're not even like the equivalent of a diamond in a rough. Like, they are a once in a lifetime type company that is always willing to do something different and push hardware and always just make a fun as fuck game. Well, with studios like this, it's a no-brainer. Just go and pick them up. It's going to cost you jack shit, but now you have a studio that can take on virtually anything. You have a brand new IP that is exclusive only to you, and this just cements their namesake even more as a must-have brand inside of your entertainment system at home. And I don't know, it's weird. But I still look forward to the game. I want to play the fuck out of it. It's just don't know when to fuck when. But if it's coming out next year, fine. I got Persona 5 next year.
Honestly, it sounds like next year is going to be pretty badass, at least for me.
But it doesn't seem like every year next year is going to be great.
Yeah, well, that is the way the video game industry continues to subsist. But in particular, I feel like 2017 is shaping up to be pretty strong, especially, well, for PC anyways. You got BattleTech coming out. You got System Shock 3 in development. That'll probably be, a couple years down the line. You got a new Ultima Underworld coming out. You got... we'll see if a single goddamn thing they promised at the last fucking Star Citizen meeting actually goddamn materializes. But we know that's the perpetual video gaming mirage. Folks, if nothing comes out in 2017, is it fair to say Star Citizen is a fucking scam? I mean, flat out scam. Like, they just are going to keep stringing you along so they can take your fucking money. Because they said it was supposed to drop, the single player mode was supposed to drop this holiday season, but I digress. There are some cool games that are supposed to come out next year, and it does look like it's shaping up pretty goddamn good.
I mean, two of my most wanted games are, for this generation, come out next year. And that's Yakuza 0. That comes out in February, and then in April, we get Persona 5. Both of which, I mean, by the time that comes out, it'll be almost 9 years since the last Persona game. And they take their fucking time with them, but they put out good-ass fucking games that are just really messed up. And with the Yakuza games, I just want more people to actually fucking play the things because they're really fucking good. But this one is something, since I played the second game, I was just like, man, they need to make a prequel. And I'd been saying that the entire time. Now, finally fucking getting that. And a remake of the first one.
I think Persona suffered because of the time when it kind of started commercial, because the style of it was kind of a late 90s sort of PlayStation era kind of anime, you know what I mean? Like, it was something that would have done really well in the late 90s, but by the time Persona sort of came to prominence and really started to hit its groove, we were way into like the Skyrims and the Morrowinds and the bigger kind of open world sandbox Western
Persona
RPGs.
3, they ended up finding a much larger fan base. Yeah. Persona 4 is basically their crown jewel. That's basically their equivalent of like a Final Fantasy VII. That's the game that got people to actually recognize the series outside of a marginal amount of fans. And now everybody's been, with each entry, it just keeps getting bigger and better, which I'm really fucking happy about. The first two games are hard to even sell to quote-unquote fans because they feel that they're too difficult and they're too hard to get into. That's one of the reasons why I found them to be so good. But, I mean, the storylines of them are fucked up. All of them are really fucked up. You pick up a Shin Megami Tensei game, it is a really morbid storyline from start to finish with like humor peppered in. But the problem is you'll play like 3 and 4 and you see it and it's like, oh, that's some fucking stupid little weeaboo faggot who's playing that game. And it's not some fucking anime fags like that shit and blah, blah, blah. But underneath it, a murder mystery that's going on in some kind of crazy trippy world, and then if you play the other ones, there's like all these satanic themes going on and shit, especially Nocturne. It's just a lot of cool stuff. I'm just hoping that 5 does really fucking well, just to get more people recognizing it, and maybe even a remake of 2, at least 2, because goddamn is that one awesome. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, do we have more questions?
Are you sure you don't want to go on and on and on for a little while?
To be honest, if I keep doing that, this fucking table will eventually tip upwards and everything will be falling off of it. So I figure we'll just...
There's some people that did notice that, yes, this will be, I think, the last 8-Bit podcast for the year 2016. And
Yes.
and can we discuss the happenings of 2016 as a year? And I myself think this is a year that people are going to fucking talk about. For quite some time, if for no other reason than, fuck Donald Trump, but the Cubbies won the series,
which was big.
Well, yeah, that, and I think there are 2 celebrities left living on the fucking planet.
Yes,
Jesus fucking
if I'm not
Christ!
mistaken, we lost Zsa Zsa Gabor this morning or yesterday.
Yeah, 2 days ago. Or so.
What the fuck made her a celebrity? I have no idea. I mean, don't get me wrong. She is. People call her a famed actress and an activist, and she is famous for slapping a fucking cop. And I'm not gonna say like that's a bad thing or anything. I just want you to know she's famous for slapping a cop, and and she was Paris Hilton's grandmother for a brief period.
Hey,
speaking of whores,
back in the day when she was young, she was smoking fucking hot.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But the thing was, I mean, if you look at her sister Ava from Green Acres, if you're old enough to remember that, and I guarantee you're not, but
who's famous for bad wigs.
It's clear that Zsa Zsa was, I mean, if Ava was the stronger of the 2 actors, you can get an idea of what Zsa Zsa was capable of.
No shit.
And it turns out she was capable of taking white men's money for long periods of time.
Oh, dude, that fucking vagina was a black hole for finances. And if anything, I say, bravo, because fucking hot looking and able to go and treat like well-off-to-do men like puppets. Hey, that's a reason to be famous. Plenty of bitches out there are fucking doing it. But dude, this year we lost musical icons, we lost celebrities in movies and television, and we had probably the most tumultuous, out of hand, ridiculous, over the top election ever.
Yep.
Like
so far.
So far, dude.
It's funny because I've said this before. I will say it now for all time and posterity. This is kind of what elections are going to be like going forward, I think, because you've now taken things like hacking and you releasing personal information and fucking rape allegations and shit like that, and you have put those in a presidential election context. These are part of the playbook now. They're part of the playbook. Yeah. So anytime someone starts losing, they're going to want to go to the nuclear option.
Oh, dude, and we're also getting people rioting. We're getting people rioting.
That's another
because they didn't get their way.
Yeah,
and
rioting in Portland, Oregon, the place where people in their 20s go to retire and live happily ever after. There was rioting in the streets. Interestingly enough, not long after the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I just wanted to point that out.
They were pissed about the high prices.
They were.
Dude,
but that is like, it's interesting, and they also added paid protesters. People who are literally shipped around from place to place to protest, to start a riot. That's another thing that's been thrown into the mix. This fucking nasty, underhanded bullshit, some of which I'm sure was part of the political lexicon for years, and we're just now aware of it.
Well, yeah, because now they have apps for it. That's why.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's in our fucking pockets, so it's easier than ever to slam that nuclear button. And they are gonna slam it like the Dickens. Then they're gonna slam it again just to make sure.
The thing that it's relieving, what I'm going to say is relieving to a very minor extent and depressing to a much greater extent. And that's during this entire election, this one gave a lot of people peeks behind the curtains of how shit is truly manipulated, how things are worked, how things are fabricated, what truths are actually back there. And even with smartphones in our pockets, the entire world at our fingertips, we still have a vast majority that will choose to be ignorant and not care because that was not comfortable for them. They did not want to face that harsher reality. They wanted to give themselves a hug box, a safety pin, and access to whatever social media network to type on that they are oppressed, they are victims, and that everything is fucked that they did not like. And for anybody who is not them, they are fucked.
Yeah.
And I've never been a left or right person whenever it came to it. I would say, who is best for the fucking job? That's how my entire family's been. It just middle of the fucking road as possible. Like, for example, and many can scoff at, but I actually want to vote for Bernie. And because I liked a lot of things that he said. I thought that shit made a lot of fucking sense. And I'll be honest, there was shit that he said I also thought was fucking stupid. Very fucking stupid and just...
Well, welcome to the club.
Bernie Sanders was easy to get behind because you get everything and it didn't cost anything under Bernie.
There was no perfect option this time around. If you were a Democrat, you were fucking holding your nose and going for Hillary, or you were just saying fuck it and just not voting, because a lot of them did.
Oh no, a lot of people had said fuck it, I'm not voting, and turned right around and complained about who got elected.
You know shit.
And that's one of the things.
It's like, where the fuck were you?
I'd seen there was multiple different
Not like it mattered, your vote doesn't matter.
Whenever they were going to some of the areas where riots were taking place, and they got to interview some of the folks there who were rioting, and they were very ambitious about about trying to prove their point to everybody. They're like, well, did you vote? Well, no. Oh, okay, so you're mad about the outcome, but you did nothing to help it. And all this, like, I've seen people lose their friends, lose family, and just in general quit associating with a very fucking large amount of people because of this season. This political season has ruined people for other people. It's not even divisive. It's not even like polarizing. It was a fucking shit show. It's embarrassing.
It really was. And it's I think a huge component is social media, because you couldn't log into Facebook during this election, motherfucker. I was so glad I deactivated my Facebook years ago. Because it was like, I can only imagine logging into Facebook. Because it's so much better to just assume people are retards than to have it confirmed motherfucking daily that they're retards every day by logging onto Facebook and scrolling through your fucking feed.
I think,
right? If for no other reason than that, I'm glad the election is over, because at least now the retardation, which was at a full fucking boil, is now down to more of a simmer.
Oh no! Well, you got to remember that they had said that gays and women were going to be locked up into 2016 era concentration camps. There was going to be lynch mobs that were going to go around and systematically fucking eliminate every single one of them. And this was the kind of shit that they were painting. There's people who just made up shit. I'd gotten into so many fucking arguments online about things, and the arguments went a lot like this. Person makes radically incorrect claim. I challenged it by asking a question. I got blocked. And that was it. And this shit happens so fucking often. There was at least several days, because I tried my fucking best to not get political on my channel, on my social media pages, but this time I couldn't. Shit was at Spinal Tap 11 the entire fucking time, and it wouldn't fucking stop, and it wouldn't slow the fuck down, and eventually you just have enough. And you just want to go and call the motherfuckers out on some shit. I had some dude who's very racist against white people go and say some shit about Trump's wife. Whether or not you like Trump, irrelevant. But he was trying to go and slut shame her for posing nude. This same motherfucker is in there and applauding as much as he can, like a fucking goddamn seal with a ball on his fucking nose. that a black woman will go and do it. What the fuck is the difference besides her skin color? But people sat there and like were fucking just all over his dick about it, and it was mainly just all these like spineless fucking fools who didn't know shit challenged a motherfucker to it and publicly made a goddamn fool of him within just a couple of tweets. I done this shit, and I chose my fucking battles. I made sure to go after whatever fucking big fish I possibly could. Because I went, if you're ever going to go after somebody, aim for the fucking top, just so you can watch the entire thing collapse, because it's a much better view than watching a fucking anthill get squished under your boot heel. Sorry. Yeah, so politics, 2016.
Politics aside, I think what this year really showed, the year in television, is that the news is just a TV show.
Oh my God, yeah. Did it ever? Yeah, you know it's fucking crazy when a far right fucking nut job like me, who already has the bar, fucking I'm embedded in the ground for media bias, when they somehow manage to outdo your expectations, right? The whole fucking election, like they were just. They weren't even pretending anymore. It was unbelievable. Any sense of affectation or putting on airs that they were objectively reporting events of any kind. They could report a house fire and turn it into indictment against one candidate or another. And they did it on a daily basis.
There was so much of it that I had seen was very, very, very extremely pro-Hillary.
Oh.
And it's so much to a degree that they ignored and basically just like swept it under the rug. Anything negative that was out there as fucking fact. They were just like, no, we're not even going to acknowledge that because we don't need the information getting around. Social media allows us to be able to go and spread that information around on our own. The downside is we've even seen the people that will run Facebook and run Twitter and whatever other fucking platform you want to go about, but even those have silenced people.
Yeah. And it's hard too, because when it's a social media kind of election, what have you, it's hard to parse. There's not the same vetting process. There's not the same filtration process for factuality. So if information gets out there, there's very little curation. Like even reading through WikiLeaks, you don't know. There's a bunch of fucking nut jobs who think there's a fucking pedophile ring because of pizza or something. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm not fucking paying attention. But Jesus Christ, that's a classic prime example of what happens when you don't have any curation. No, there's no fucking Edward R. Murrow sitting down and poring over the fucking pizza saga and going, all right, this is true. This is complete horseshit. You know what I mean? And so people start to latch on to really fucking nutty bullshit as a result. So you got both extremes of the fucking spectrum.
It's you see, we also live in an era where people don't recognize that there's jobs at companies called social media experts or social media administrators. And what those people do is, and even if you don't realize it, they control speech. They control who says what, when, where, and to who. Why? Because when you control speech, you control ideas. When you control ideas, you control thought. And it's just like fucking television. At least that's what they want. That's what they're aspiring to.
To me, it's you have the proof out there now that you've been lied to. That they only give you bits and pieces of things. That things have been like they've shown that there's been various people who were planted in areas that information was just made up. There's people who are essentially fucking scapegoats for hire just to go and make sure that shit happens. There's people who make outrageous claims with no evidence to be able to back it up, but everybody takes it as fact, and then that starts a domino effect of bullshit, but nobody bothered to stop and listen, read, or think. It's just reaction after reaction. And it's fucking horrifying because it's like this is where
that's how they like it.
Oh yeah, I've tinfoil hat conspiracy theories aside, I've always wondered if sometimes it's just a part of the end game. Like their genuine agenda is to let everything go to fucking hell. Like they're just like, they push for everything to go to hell in a handbasket. So then they have a reason, they have an excuse that something needs to be stepped in and done about it. And that kind of stuff, it's more and more fucked to think about. And I hate even bringing it up because it's like Twilight Zone, X-Files type of fan fiction.
Well, but that's the problem, man. You're not even paranoid for thinking that. It's just a fucking election where nothing you thought was true, and everything you didn't think was true turned out to be true. People owed Alex Jones an apology after this election. Think about that for a minute. Ponder it for a second. That's fucking ridiculous. Alex Jones was right about something. That's retarded. I don't want to live in a world where Alex Jones was right about something. I want to be perpetually making fun of that motherfucker for his man boobs and his fucking Hitler haircut. All right? Period.
And don't forget about that Freedom Coffee. Your freedom depends on this coffee grown exclusively in the hills of central Mexico. Don't forget about that.
So okay, so we've got the deaths of far too many talented people, and then technically the death of this fucking country in many ways, because just look at everything that we talked about. What about some positives? What kind of positives could you wring out of this very dry napkin that is 2016?
Hey, there was a Battlefield game that I actually liked. Deus Ex got a sequel, and it was pretty goddamn good.
Star Fox Zero was pretty fucking hot, I must say.
It was pretty cool, issues aside, but it was
issues aside, but you know, whatever.
It was.
Wait, Star Wars came out this year. Yeah, didn't it? Or was last year?
Star Wars comes out every year.
Yes,
because there are action figures to be sold.
I haven't gone to see the new one. So
I understand that it's the end of the fucking world and everybody's going to die because Rogue One. Yeah, they're all going to die of some butthole disease, and it's just the end of the fucking world.
I mean, to me, the worst part about this year had already came and went. We're at the end of the year. At least we have a clean slate, though we can't really go and carry that on to a good bill of health. I wonder how many people might make money off of Betty White's death next year. So, because that's been a fucking poll going for the longest time. I want her to live till she's 150.
Well, according to a lot of Google searches, she's been dead every year for quite some time.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I actually want to go and prove this. I bet that if you type in Betty White space, it might say death. So we're gonna find out live, assuming that
every single old person on the planet has one of those on Google.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Not death. Betty White dead.
Yeah.
So and then hold on. Betty White dead. Betty White young. Betty White age. Betty White death. 2016. So that's the top searches for her. That is horrifying. Oh man, that sucks. Somebody's going to either be buying a house or losing a house whenever she does go and croak. So it's going to be a thing. Just look at it that way.
Well, that's great. Is there anything else good that happened in 2016? Because well, no, I could do it. I could. Jesse Ventura, but that's not a good thing that Jesse Ventura was on TV.
Not in his state.
No, have you seen him? Have you seen him? He makes Jim Cornette look like the picture of health.
He does. Why does Jesse Ventura is just getting shakier and shakier. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Whatever you're using the pot to fucking medicate, it's not working, bud. It's making you mellow.
I think he might be suffering like the curse of Billy Graham or something. The curse of superstar Billy Graham for stealing his shit. I don't know. Because you notice that Billy Graham kind of got a little shaky towards the end, you know.
This is true.
So that's just my thinking.
The final plagiarism. Death.
Indeed.
Hey, in 2016, we got the return of the cruiserweight division, and you can hear a pinfall every time they wrestle.
Yeah, well, and that belt has
Jesus.
changed hands, what, like 35 fucking times since last
Oh no,
Tuesday?
that's been the women's title between Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair, which admittedly they put on fucking 5-star matches, but calling the title hot potato is doing it a disservice. It apparently now, lots of air quotes. I need them to like ship me more air quotes, but it's supposed to be the last time because Charlotte's going to go into a feud potentially with Bayley, which would be nice. Bayley, only reason I even really like Bayley is because she's adorable and her fucking tits and ass are amazing. Not even implants. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, what's
the
fake goth chick? She got suspended for fucking whatever the fuck.
She got suspended like 3 fucking times, and I'm pretty sure it's on purpose because she just wants to be done with it. But she's young as fuck and is being rebellious a little bit too late because she's not a teenager anymore, and she's with a company where she's making multi-millions. So you don't really just throw that away.
Like, hey, that Del Rio guy, the guy with the history of spousal abuse and getting arrested for drugs, that guy, I'm gonna hop on his dick. That'll end well.
Oh no, that seems like a really good idea. I'm gonna hook up with that guy when he's on his way out. Cool. That seems like the best way to go. And now I don't even know what the fuck he's doing. There's rumors that he was potentially maybe going to. I mean, he'll probably do Lucha Underground again, but he's more than likely going to try MMA because he was supposed to try out for some of the Olympic the Olympic wrestling team for Mexico?
Really?
Like that.
Wait, I thought they didn't even have Greco-Roman wrestling in the Olympics anymore.
No, they do. They tried to get rid of freestyle wrestling.
I see.
Freestyle wrestling and Greco-Roman wrestling are different because fucking NBC, I guess.
No, they
apparently
have
in
that
one
genre, but
Mad Beats. I don't know.
Something like that.
I'm glad that she's gone because personally, aside from her looks, because I mean she's good looking. After you see. After she has all the fucking makeup on, she's got it. She's billed at probably being like maybe 120 pounds. Take off the makeup, she's about 100.
Oh shit!
But beyond that, I mean, I'd railed the living shit out of her until my fucking dick literally tapped out as if like it was fucking Chris Benoit having it in a fucking lock or some shit. But
I say that's funny. 120 pounds. Vince McMahon's fingernails weigh 120 pounds.
I mean, it might. So's the fucking tumor inside of him. But with her,
that's Pro.
I'm personally. I'm glad that she's gone. She was cancer on the fucking microphone, and her matches were very average. I just liked her for her looks. That was literally it. And once Alexa Bliss entered the company, I could give a shit less because she's like the hottest fucking chick that they've had.
Well, and don't forget, I mean, you wonder why she gets suspended all the time. That's the only time she gets any fucking ink. The only time anyone says a goddamn thing about her, she got suspended.
I mean, she's going out of her way to go and get into trouble. Like I don't know. It's this try hard, edgy teenager mentality. It doesn't make any sense because this is your career path.
Yeah, either that or they just wrote a new storyline for Total Divas, whatever the fuck.
Dude, fucking Total Divas, Jesus fucking Christ! I sat in for I think 2
This is what
episodes?
the Hate Bit Podcast has come to: discussion about Total Divas. I'm fucking out of here.
We were talking about the tragedies and deaths of 2016. Of course, we're talking about Total Divas.
So might as well be the death of those careers, right?
Dude, oh my god, that fucking show is just so fucking stupid. I don't get it. Like, I really don't. I can't say one thing. Natalia Neidhart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus fucking Christ, I hate her. Every time that bitch says anything or does anything at all other than wrestle, I die inside just a little bit more. And her on that fucking show, oh god, it is It
And
is
you know the
fucking
only
terrible.
reason that Paige wears 20 pounds of makeup is because that's what falls off of her face every week.
Dude, I saw that bitch in various matches, and after she took several different bumps to the fucking mat, you could see parts of her stole smudge there.
Yeah.
And that's not even an exaggeration. Go watch a fucking Paige match, and then watch her go and take like some kind of fucking header onto the mat. You'll go and see remnants and bits of her right there.
Or no, you'll see it on that black shit they put on the protective rails. It's just, like Doink the Clown was here.
Like if that happens, or if you put the Miz in a match, I love the Miz because he's a great heel, but that dude's fucking spray tan is like it's not even. It's like a washboard. Like when he gets slammed, it looks like there's a fucking chalk outline from a crime scene that's in there. That should just say awesome.
Yeah, he goes to the same tanning salon as Taz.
Fucking Taz, dude. Oh man, talk about a dude who was fucking confusing looking. Jesus fucking Christ.
Hey, you know you're an old-time wrestling fan if you can remember before Taz was orange.
I can remember him as the Tasmaniac.
Yeah, I challenge the contention that Taz uses tanning of any kind. I think he just goes over to the fucking sweet factory and dives into the fucking caramel dish. Something just like a fucking porpoise.
No, I think that that's the thing that people don't give any credit for. They don't talk about how he was trained with the Taz mission in Loompa Land.
It's true.
You know, you bring up the caramel factor, but that shit would have just washed off. I like to think that he was deep fried at least once. Just dunk him in. Like if you remember the old
when he was in TNA, he was deep fried on a regular basis.
Most definitely. ECW at least had the ability to afford that. A deep fryer was not outside of their cost, so that's definitely a thing. Though Paul Heyman probably would have stiffed somebody on that, but that still doesn't make him any less amazing because he's fucking awesome. So you guys want to talk about wrestling some more? Because I think I'm the only one out of the bunch that's actually still watching.
Yeah, no shit. I think you're the only male left on the North American continent.
I might be because at this point, like I was watching the pay-per-view last night because it was here in the Steel City.
I love how they still call it pay-per-views. Like no one's paying to view that.
I made that. I was talking about that. It's like, why do they still call it pay-per-view when we're not paying per view?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Oh well. But
and most people aren't even paying, period. They're just borrowing their friend's fucking WWE network account.
No, I've already lent mine out, so it's not. It's definitely not a shock. But watching it, the entire fucking crowd was quiet the entire time, with the exception to boo Roman Reigns. When he came out, that was technically the biggest pop, was to tell him that they fucking hated him. And Neville showed up in the cruiserweight division, which I don't see how the fuck he wasn't in it to begin with. Which, hey WWE, if for any reason you ever came across the fucking Hate Bit podcast, and you never fucking will, but if you did and you're hearing this right now, you can't go and just decide that you're going to bring the cruiserweight division in without establishing a single one of these motherfuckers for us to care about. You just drop like 15 dudes in, and we're supposed to give a crap.
No shit. How did WCW introduce the cruiserweight division? Right?
They didn't.
No, they did. They absolutely did. They started out with tinier feuds. I think they started out with the Benoits and the Guerreros.
It was Benoit, Guerrero, Mysterio, and fucking Jerry Lynn would come around once in a while, and eventually a belt showed up.
They built those guys up, and then they were like, okay, now we can go to fucking Psychosis.
Okay, wait, I love how you're talking about like they built him up. It's like, no, they had to have wrestling on their wrestling program because the only other thing they had was fucking Hulk Hogan.
It worked.
You can't do an hour of Hulk Hogan. I guarantee it. I mean, TNA tried, and now they're getting out of business.
Can't. Fuck you! Anytime you say there's too much Hulk Hogan, you're wrong. More is required.
More Hulk Hogan?
He's Hulk fucking Hogan, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
he's so popular, we even want him in our courtroom dramas now. And so
I don't know, man. When I watched Hogan Knows Best, I was like, I think I've had my fill. So, and I'm pretty sure that when that was going on, his wife also felt the same way because she liked him because he was never home. Then when he finally came home, she was just like, now I have to admit to banging the pool boy. All right, well, here we are.
Well, not only that, look when fucking when Hogan would come home, he brought Jimmy Hart and Brian Knobbs. Like, yeah, great. That show also helped me understand. I've seen enough Jimmy Hart and Brian Knobbs for the rest of my life.
Okay, Chaos. Let's get something out of the way. I would much rather have them fucking living with me than Hogan's son, who was trying to accidentally murder his friends. So I'm just saying that I'm gonna go with having them around. It just makes sense.
Yeah, but if
I don't know. I understand that Brian Knobs almost accidentally on purpose killed Hurricane Helm. So, but whatever.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the industry have wanted to do that because he's apparently like a fucking asshole. So, dude, this brought up the way to like WCW did the cruiserweight division right.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that, and it was nice because at the time they didn't give a shit what the fuck they were doing. Yeah. Like on mic, on air, they're like, yeah, just go do your thing. Jericho talked about that numerous different times. He was like, we weren't the NWO, we weren't Sting, we weren't anything like that. So they didn't care. They just said, just go out there, be entertaining. And they were. They had better fucking matches than everybody. Their storylines were actually more entertaining. And
that's what killed that division is when they got storylines.
Nah, man. Look, the Jericho-Malenko feud was one of the best goddamn things I've ever seen from that company, period. It was fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. And Eddie Guerrero, when he was feuding with Chavo, that shit was good because it was weird but funny. They tried to carry that over to WWE and it was it was pretty much just Eddie Guerrero and then Chavo was tagging along. So, but with WWE, they bring the cruiserweight division and it's all guys that aren't already pre-established.
Yeah. There's no reason to care. Even the last time WWE had the cruiserweights, which was like the mid-2000s, right? They had people who were already established. They had Rey Mysterio. They had Ultimo fucking Dragon in the fucking division. They had all kinds of bad.
But they also had Matt Hardy, who has to be the biggest fucking cruiserweight in the history of fucking cruiserweights.
No fucking shit. I think he stores his talent in his tits now.
I just watch what I forgot what it's called. It's like 401 Live or some
205
shit.
205
Live. Is that it?
Yes, because the weight limit for cruiserweight is 205, supposedly.
Okay. They had the every time that they've had it, they were recording this after some of the shows, and there was nobody there because they just fucking left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? I came up with the perfect fucking idea, and that was to just take the entire cruiserweight division, take it off fucking Raw because it's being wasted there, and put that shit on NXT. You've already like pilfered shitloads of talent from there to bring up to the main roster, and in a lot of ways that's like getting a pink slip. But you've done that. Just put them onto fucking NXT. You'll be able to go and fill that gap, and they'd be better utilized on there. And to be honest, the types of matches that they're doing with the hectic fucking road schedule that they have, you're going to end up shelving those fucking guys real goddamn quick. Put them on NXT's work schedule.
But the same thing would happen at NXT. If those 15 guys were suddenly shuffled right into NXT, they would be devoured. You wouldn't care about them. They'd get lost in the shuffle. That's too much talent at once.
That's the problem, honestly. It's kind of a moving them on to NXT, although it might fit better for a little while, but you're still going to wind up with the same problem. There's no goddamn storytelling.
I feel like
they
would have a better opportunity to actually build them separately on there than they do on something like Raw. Despite the fact that Raw is 3 hours, they still manage to just do fuck all with people.
No. Raw is 4 hours. Don't forget about that pre-show bullshit where we get to see fucking the week before in SmackDown over and over and over again.
No, well, was it? I think when I had watched on Hulu because that's the only fucking way I can even see it now. Because I don't.
Oh, they have it on Hulu. All right, I didn't know about that.
Like I watched it on there, and I forget, but I swear the show is technically like an hour and a half or something. Like that's pretty much like the entire length. As soon as you take out all the commercials, which there's a bajillion of, and then if I ever see Michael Cole ever pick up a tray with Sonic food on it and talk about it ever again, I will go to his fucking house and I will beat the shit out of him.
You're fucking joking. You're joking. Is that?
No, they're advertising within the show, and Sonic food I actually fucking like. But
I do too.
Michael Cole being associated with anything just makes it bad.
I saw him drink a Pepsi one time. I wanted to fucking never drink a Pepsi again as long as I live.
Like ever again. Just eventually he's going to be like, oh yeah, Maruchan ramen, the best kind of ramen. I'm like, fuck, now I don't have ramen to eat ever again. I'm done with life. I'm literally going to waste away and die. It's some kind of unforeseen. I don't know how the fuck that asshole is still employed when everybody else is a better announcer. Even JBL, who I'm pretty sure is fucking lit from start to fucking finish.
Have you seen him when he walks down when they introduce him sometimes where his hat's in his hand? Yeah, he's fucking gone. He looks like Blackjack Lanza. Just
It's funny too because they still, even knowing that, and I think everyone pretty much does, even knowing that, they still make headlines out of when JBL like buries the show while he's on it, or is burying the talent in the ring, or he's always talking shit about the show constantly. He's putting it down, and that's half of the goddamn entertainment value, by the the way.
Absolutely.
Is hear JBL be like, "Oh, they fucked up. Those guys don't know what they're doing. Fuck those guys." I'll give them both a clothesline from hell. Fuck them.
You want to know what? I'm more fine with having him on commentary than I am with Daniel Bryan. They put him on for commentary. No. No. Maybe that can get across to all the fucking Daniel Bryan fans. The dude's fucking awesome in ring. I'll never take that away from him. That dude is the shit when it comes to wrestling. I mean, if you're trained by the likes of fucking Shawn Michaels, I sure as fuck hope so. But him on fucking commentary?
Communication classes, my friend. You can't.
Yeah, it did not work.
All right, if we're gonna put the boosted commentary, you know what? Fuck this Mauro Ranallo guy too. This guy,
I like him.
But no, this guy needs to. This guy is fucking puffery. He needs to be on like Good Morning America and lie to people in the morning because lying at evening is not his deal.
But he is lying to people.
He's telling me Flex Seal. And for a bright shine that you can't rub out, Mountain Dew. You know, dude, fuck him. I hate him. He's white and I know that I know they give him this fucking Italian name or whatever. Fuck that shit. Fuck Mauro Ranallo. And you know what? He should have covered the fucking election because that's what he's engineered for.
Is that his real name or is that his fake?
No, I'm pretty sure that's his WWF-ified name.
Can I just okay? What the fuck is with WWE? Okay, they'll bring in someone who has a boring name, right? Jack Wilson, right? Some boring ass fucking name, like Isa Phillips, and fucking they'll bring him in and they'll change his name and it's like bitchin'. What's it gonna be? Like Skull Crusher, fucking Throat Ripper, Womb Stretcher, It winds up being like
Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, they winds up being David Thompson or some shit. Like, what the fuck? Why? You're just taking one boring name and turning it into an even more boring name. When the fuck did the WWE turn into Ellis Island? That's all I want to fucking know.
You know what I want to know? I want to know if
Ellis Island names.
I want to know if Tyler Breeze knows that his name sounds like a fart.
Look. Tyler Breeze sounds like one of the different kinds of suave conditioner because it doesn't sound like one of the higher end ones. Though, and nobody would fucking know it unless they watch WWE's YouTube channel, Tyler Breeze and Fandango have a tag team, which you'd never see them on anything, ever.
Well, they were on Superstars until that shit got canceled.
Good.
That's how good they are. They closed down Superstars.
Dude, Superstars made Sunday Night Heat look amazing.
It did.
So there was no fucking point to it. And 3/4 of the show was just recounting all the events from Raw. And SmackDown has lessened that to some degree because they only have two.
I like to call it the Jack Swagger show.
Oh, fucking.
Jack Swagger comes out and does the fucking We the People thing in 2016.
There's a fucking name. There's a name for you, Jack Swagger. Could that possibly be any better than what he was? I don't know what his real name is. Could it be any better? Right?
I don't know. I'm curious. Actually,
he could be John fucking Smith. It would be more distinctive than fucking Jack Swagger. They turned Joe Hennig. I am not letting this go, motherfucker.
Oh no! Dig this. He is Jake Hager.
They turned Joe Hennick, last hope of a fading dynasty, into Mike butt fucking McGillicuddy. Mike McGillicuddy. What the fuck?
Hold on. I'm going to play a game of one-upsmanship with you, and I raise you a Dolph Ziggler. Because that's the stupidest fucking name in the entire... I don't know what kind of name that is. I don't know. There's so many things I'm like, is that a villain from a 90s cartoon show that didn't even get 12 episodes? Like, what the fuck is it? Is that one of the foreign exchange students from Life Goes On? Like, what the fuck is happening? And where did you come up with the name? There is no fucking way that you could tell me I'm going to take anyone serious, which WWE doesn't take Dolph serious. But beyond that, I'm not going to take anybody who's named Dolph and or Ziggler at all, because then I start thinking of Kimmy Gibbler from A Full House. And then I'm just like, Bob Saget put his pinky in your ass. I don't fucking know what happened. His stand-up's not that great, but I did laugh. I don't know why. It's just dick jokes. But
howdy do, neighborinos.
Yeah. I want him to come out once and say that. just once for no reason, and just see if there's a single person where it just like connects and they're like, and
the sad part is Dolph Ziggler, no matter how much he gets shit on, no matter how many times he has to job to someone he should be beating, no matter how many times he has to play hot potato with a title that means nothing, he will never be as smart as Kimmy Gibbler and say, I don't have to take this. I'm going home.
Dude,
never!
If Dolph Ziggler decided, you know what, I'm going to leave and go to Ring of Honor, he would do 1,000,000 times better for himself. Honestly. Cody Rhodes left, and that motherfucker seems like a beaming ray of sunshine now. And he's in like multiple different companies right now, just like touring the world.
Cody Rhodes had prospects before WWE. That's something nobody ever talks about. He was actually on his way to being like an actor before he went into WWE. He was getting acting gigs and little bit parts and shit. God, if he hadn't gotten sidetracked by the whole WWE thing, he might be in fucking soap operas and shit.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget that WWE is the one that gave him that fucking mustache, and now no more acting for Cody Rhodes.
Hey, don't diss that mustache.
I will diss that mustache all fucking day long. That looked like a brown Vlasic pickle. Don't you molest your mustache.
Dude, he at least got to say the tried and true, I mustache you a question. That alone, I was like, you know what? Maybe this was worth it. Today was a good day, everybody. Right there. And if someone's like, that was bad, I'd be like, false. Everything about that statement was incorrect.
Here's the problem with mustaches. They can't be abandoned. Right? This guy waxes every available inch of his body. And then he's got the loneliest mustache in Western civilization up above his fucking lip. Tom Selleck, you are not. Because if Tom Selleck ever disrobed to the fucking waist, he'd look like Mike Hagar.
Tom,
right?
you don't even bring up Tom Selleck. That's not even fair. You could land a fucking F-15 on that mustache.
Well, Tom Selleck had his mustache insured. That right there, I would, you know what? If there was ever a fucking celebrity auction and I could get the actual insurance paperwork for that, I'd buy that shit in a heartbeat.
Man, when he started that Eisenhower TV movie and he had to shave the mustache off, I'm pretty sure the stock market crashed.
Oh no. It's when he did that, I guarantee you, he didn't just shave off his mustache. That was 10 years of his life gone on a razor's edge. That shit was just, and I mean, that's heartbreaking. There's people that have iconic facial hair. That's just part of them. You can't shave it off at all. You could behead them, but you can't ever take it. Like you could literally throw their head into a fucking furnace. Everything will be burned to a crisp except for that. It'll be fine. But Cody Rhodes, he's doing well for himself. Tom Selleck, I miss him. I wish he was on more things.
I wish he were in WWE. It'd be entertaining.
Oh my god, that would be fucking fantastic. I'd be okay with that.
Make Tom Selleck versus Goldberg.
Yes, Goldberg. He interferes. It'll be Goldberg Lesnar 2, and he rips. Tom Selleck comes out and rips the door off the fucking cell.
No. He should run him over with the Ferrari.
I did it for The Rock. What they need to do is have him as participant number 30 in the Royal Rumble, because that is the next pay-per-view. Tom Selleck comes out.
Hey, can't be worse than Drew Carey.
I don't know, man. Have you seen the Honky Tonk Man lately?
Ooh.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
what
like
does he? What does he look like? Is it bad?
He looks like
He looks. Let's put it this way.
Okay, you ever seen when the skin falls off the outside of a baseball? Kind of like that.
Let's put it this way. He looks more and more like his idol Elvis Presley every day. It's just a matter of which period of Elvis you're talking about.
It's definitely one that's right after the fried peanut butter banana sandwich.
Yeah, all he's missing is a toilet and a turd floating after him. Is really all he's missing at this point. And a cold marble floor.
Hey, give it time. Anyway, hateful holidays to each and every one of you. That's it. Hate Bit Podcast over. Thank you very much. You guys have been great. We wish you hateful holidays and a happy new year coming up real soon. We'll see you right after the new year. Joining me has been the man, the myth, the legend, Alpha Omega Sin.
Hate Pit Podcast for life.
Woo! And of course, the ravishing Razor Fist.
God fucking speed, folks. Enjoy your holidays. By the way, digging the new love handles, Anita Sarkeesian. Did Movie Bob need something to hold on to while you peg him in the pooper? Anyways, God fucking speed.
Woo! And with that being said, follow us, like us, or don't. Fuck you. See you next time.